Don't do it, guys. Don't lie to your customer. Alright, this new customer is just dispatching me everywhere. So we got another AC, they said back of the house and front of the house not working great. So I think I'm gonna verify this one's unplugged. I'm gonna verify it's not working, which they probably just want a quote because like other company literally just left here. The guy's like, oh, they sent another company and they just started complaining about the other one. I'm not gonna go into that, but you can see water leaking on this one. The other company just left. They didn't clear this out. Try and clear that out too. Alright, so it's clogged up in here. I was able to unscrew that. Just gonna clear it out a little bit and I'll do it thoroughly when we do a PM on it, because they all need PMs. The company that they have is not taking care of them like that, so just gonna make sure. I'm gonna have to clear this out. There's a bunch of crap in the line here. Alright, so back of the house is not working either. 71 is not good. It's been there for a while. So I think one of them's low on refrigerant. They're probably all dirty. This one, they have it unplugged, so I need to verify that one. This one doesn't have a hole. Oh, yes it does. Alright, so it's not shorted to ground and it's not open. It looks like it's unplugged for a while, so we're gonna, for the hell of it, just plug it back in. I want to see, maybe it's not pumping or something, or we'll see if they're low on charge. But I want to, it just looks like it doesn't have good connections. Oh, I don't know how long it's been unplugged, so let's just see what it does. Check amperage on it. This one, it's not running, but we have pressure. So this is resettable. This one's not running. We are calling. Compressor 2, high pressure. So guess what? I plugged it in, it's working. Slightly high amperage. I'm gonna double check. It was just 1 or 2, maybe 3 amps over. But I'm pretty sure we have a dirty coil. And it's hot. Yeah. So it's dirty all the way on top. The bottom, I'm sure if we wash it in and out, it's gonna be black. And they're probably all like that. So I'm not too concerned with the amperage. It is cooling. Both TXVs are cold. Evaporator's getting cold. Now let's check our temp on it. I don't know where I left my thermometer. Oh, it's still there. So let's see if it drops into the 60s. It's dropping pretty quick. I had it off for a while. Okay, so I was wrong. I was looking at the wrong number. It's not even overamping. It's 19, 20. It's rated for 22, so that's okay. But we got a high head and we're not getting any cooling coming back. possibly undercharged with a dirty condenser or a plugged up condenser. So it just needs maintenance. I don't see anything wrong with it right now. It's turning off on high head. So when I restart everything, it starts cooling fine. It goes into the 60s, but then it starts tripping. So we're gonna have a plugged up condenser, but we are cooling. It's just it turns off before it can do it. Same exact thing. No high amps, high head, kicking out on high head. So right now I'm running a test on it. I'm gonna kick it out. It's gonna trip on high head, this one. We're getting about 600 PSI, so I need to clean all these condensers. I don't see any issue with the compressors. Like, that's what I was coming for. I was coming for a second opinion on compressors. And I don't know, they just got tired of the other company. I don't see any compressors I have to replace. The guy mentioned he had a walking down or something down, but I'm gonna come back in the morning. Just came for this one on my way home. It's already 5. Just see if I can clear this real quick with something. But yeah, don't try to screw over your customer, because I'll just call somebody else. It's freaking hot. My head is pounding. I'm tired of being on the roof, so I'm just gonna have them let us come out in the morning, and we'll take care of at least these two. I don't think there's anything wrong with that one, but we'll clean it out too. And that's it. I don't see anything wrong. And this one, it's not leaking water right now, but it looks like it has been for a long time. This was filled to the cap. I don't see it plugged up, but that end over there was just hanging down. So I moved over the little leveler there. I don't know what you call them, but it's trying to push water through. Like I said, this corner was hanging down. So I found out that the company that was there just left before I went. So that was one of those that they told them they needed a new compressor. So he immediately called me, because I was starting to do a couple of their locations. So they were happy with us, and we're cool with them now. So he's like, hey, they were finishing up some jobs, so can you go check? I went, found it unplugged, we plugged it back in. I can get them to run if I run it and test, but it's tripping on high head, and it tells me that on the computer. So coil looks plugged up like really bad. So I mean, that's the first thing you check. That's HVAC 101, clean coils, please. So it's already after 5. I'm not going to be there. Well, I'd be rushing if I did it right now. And I'd rather do a good job cleaning them. So first thing in the morning, we're going to go do that. Take care of them. And we caught them in a lie. So, we might miss out on some of the low bids, but we feast on these companies that like to lie and sell stuff they don't need. So, do what you need to do. If you're selling a $10 part for $100, whatever, do you. But do not lie to them, because then they're going to get a second opinion. And if the second company does not verify what you found, they're just going to drop you, which is what happened here. They got tired of them. They were going on and on about this company. I was just like, look, let me go see what it is, and I'll let you know. So we'll take care of them. We'll do it in the morning. And I'm going to show you guys. So in a few seconds, you'll see it. It'll be the next day. All right, guys, so we are back. Now let's see if we can prove them wrong and get these compressors going. I knew I left it here. So we have not really any cooling, 74 on the supply. So we're gonna clean these up. We have to clean the makeup air there, the filters, and then I'm gonna rope up some stuff. We got water access. It should be an easy one. Now I have my rope video should be out, but I have a grappling hook on the end of this, so it's gonna make it easy to bring on my pack out. Now the Klein hook is awesome, but like 4 hooks on one, especially for those odd things that you pick up like buckets and stuff, that'll help you fish so much easier. So we got our pack out for PMs, so we got our cleaner. We do have water access, so I'm gonna throw this down so I can hook up and we'll see what we can do. Look at all that chocolate milk just from pre-rinsing it. Don't forget the inside. I'm not even taking this off yet because it's not a PM, but the more I wash, the more crap comes out. I'm still rinsing it after the first pass through with cleaner. Damn. And I already did the inside and I'm just doing another pass. We're gonna have to go at least 3 times here, over and over, just to get all this out. We have horrible water pressure here, but if I use one of these, obviously I can get in the unit easy. But even if I don't use a wand, I use a head like this, a little gun style, that has different pressure settings. So right now, that's how I can get most of this off without taking the guard off. And then with the wand, I can extend and go in there and rinse it out. Alright guys, so we got as much crap as we could out. The roof is blacker than hell now. So then, curious to see how this compressor does now. Let's see if we get anything. See what that does. Testing it out, running both compressors, and let's keep an eye on our supply temp now, and I'll hook up my probes in a minute. I don't even know if it's calling for outside air, but let's clean these. Would you look at that? Never went under 75, 62, and it's probably hot in there because I had it off for a while and it's cooling. So like I said, I'll probe up in a bit. We'll see that drop and we'll move on to the next one. And hopefully we got them cooling without having to get a compressor. So I'm gonna do it by the gutter over here. Just give these a rinse. Now they are still slightly dirty. I don't want to tear them up with too much pressure, but that's what they should look like. You can see through them. Just rinse them, they're metal. They don't take a lot to do. So I'll let them dry real quick. All right, so this is a before on this one. We're getting about 70 degrees. So let's clean up this one and see what we get. Okay, I'm not gonna lie, I panicked a little bit. I actually had to rinse it again because it's still blowing out black crap. So kind of have the nozzle like pushed up against it and making sure we push it all the way through, at least inside out, and then rinse the outside. So I had cleaned it already and we're still getting out black crap. So that thing is like plugged like really bad. And we were gonna trip out again. So I rinsed it again and I'm gonna let it dry up and see if it happens again, or if it's just like an incredibly dirty coil that I've rinsed 3 or 4 times already. So that compressor, it stayed on. I've had it running for 30 minutes and they're cooling. That big compressor that was tripping is not cooling as good as I want it to though. It could be the charge though, we could be undercharged, but our head pressure is kind of high. So that TXV does not look original, and that solder, that brazing does not look great either. So it looks like the compressor was replaced maybe with the TXV, and of course the dryer was changed out. It has a different size. I think they oversized it, but I don't know if I would trust them. Like, they could have cooked the TXV. They could have put the wrong charge in, which is why I want to check the charge. So compressor's running. It's just not as cold as I'd want it to be, or it's not as efficient. So we'll come check on it. We'll let it run overnight and come back and check on it. That one is getting extremely cold now though, and they were doing the same thing. So that one, after the 4th pass with some water, I finally got it breathing enough. Same thing with this one. That's why they're both on right now. They're just extremely dirty. All right guys, and just to kind of recap and maybe answer a few questions that you all had on the video, it's just hot out there. So my phone overheated a lot that day because I had several other calls that day, so I wasn't just there. They called me there, I want to say around 4 or something like that. So I got there very late on the first half of the video. That's why I had to go back the next day, because a lot of my customers don't want to pay overtime, and I myself, if they let me reschedule, I will reschedule for the morning instead of being out there when it's hot. I don't know if it's just me, but I feel like Texas has been a little hotter, at least a couple degrees than normal. We've been hitting 110 a lot, so it's pretty bad out there. So if you guys are working
in that kind of heat, just remember to take breaks. If you need to reschedule something when it's cooler in the morning, just do so. Everybody understands. As long as you're honest with your customer, everything's cool. So I tried to label what I could in the video. So I mainly focused on the front of the house AC. That's the one that had the compressor unplugged. If you go back and look, anytime I worked on the back AC, I labeled it kitchen AC in the corner. So just to kind of clarify that, in case, I know like I said, my camera kept cutting out. I didn't record as much as I thought because I thought I was recording, but my phone I had turned off. I tried to put it together as best I could, but just so you know, I did label the back AC, and if it doesn't show that it's a back AC, then I was working on the front AC. Those two had recommendations by the previous company to replace compressors, so they had one unplugged. So when I went there, I was like, okay, let me focus on that one, and I was like, there's no way, like, it's pumping. I ran the Prodigy board to test 2-stage cooling, and it turned on, like it forces it on. The thing is, it's gonna trip out on high head pressure because they have safeties. So it coming on, and it sounded fine, and it was pumping fine, pressures were fine, until the high side started climbing. I was like, okay, we probably have dirty condenser coil. So that's my main priority. I look for that, and I look for airflow. So you got to check the belts too. Loose belts will give you, or bad belts will give you, a very low suction pressure, or low pressures all around, because it's cooling too much in the evaporator. So this one was high. We're going to focus on the condenser, and sure enough, they were plugged up basically. So when I got there, they said they had been without proper AC for a while because of the other company. I guess couldn't find it, couldn't fix it, or they were sabotaging them, and they were trying to get compressors approved. On another video, I did get some comments on, well, one person left a whole bunch of comments about me cleaning the coils with the guards on. Now, like I said, if I'm doing a repair, it's not going to be a full service PM. That has to be scheduled. I'm pretty stubborn on that, because I'm not going to spend a couple hours out at 4 o'clock or whatever when they do call. My customers love to call at the end of the day, and they're like, we didn't notice it wasn't working. We thought like a cooler or freezer was in defrost. We waited it out. We didn't want to call you. We didn't want to bug you. But here it is, 4 or 5 o'clock, and we're calling you. Can you come? So I'm not doing this full service PM on those calls. And this was a new customer. I have several videos up from them now, I think, and I'm gonna have a few more. Just because when we get a new customer, we don't know the building, we don't know the layout of everything. We are learning as we go as far as what they need. Make a list of repairs, stuff like that. I assumed all the coils were dirty because this was one of the first calls I had, and this one and the one before, the video before from last week, the coils were blacker than hell. Like that was the main issue on all of them, and some of them were low on charge. Of course, we deal with that too. But yeah, it's not like I just clean them with the guards on. I clean them with the guards on the outside to rinse it, but I make sure I get inside and wash it inside out. So it is a good enough cleaning to me. Now, if I wasn't doing the inside out part, then yeah, it's kind of just rinsing it or pushing dirt around. But I rinse the outside, I push it out through the inside, and I get as much as I can out. And you guys saw how dirty those were. They needed a good 4 or 5 passes at least, and a couple times with the cleaner, just to get it coming out somewhat clear. I told the customer I want to go back and do maintenance, but they're in the middle of management changes, so there's been some confusion, and they've been calling another company along with us, but we still have the work there. Now, that happens. It happens with another chain where they probably don't want to pay the overtime, so they call somebody else. Now, it works in our favor as far as like deterring the dumb overtime calls. But then they might call somebody else, because where I live, there's a bunch of cheap contractors and companies that will go lowest bid, and customers love that. So a lot of them will not charge overtime or charge very little on labor overall, and they get called out. So we have to deal with that a lot, but it's normal, especially in these times where everybody's on a budget. We actually saved them a lot of money because they were changing out compressors. Then it started looking fishy to them that they were changing out so many compressors, and that's why they called us. So that's why I said don't lie to your customer. I don't know what their plan was. I don't know if they were going to replace compressors and then wash the coil, like leave it dirty to where it's acting up and they had the compressor swap justified, or if they really did not know what they were doing and they were never going to clean it. They were going to put in the new compressor and it was going to start tripping again. I don't know. I've seen both happen before. I've seen where they sabotage it. I've seen where they go and replace a bunch of parts and they never know that it's just maintenance or something. Whether it's a loose belt, dirty coils, dumb things like that. I'm considering pulling the charge, and this is not the only one that I'm thinking of that situation, because we need to do maintenance before we do that, but the charge could be off. If you guys follow me on TikTok or Instagram, you might know why I think that. I've seen a few things done when I'm at the location. So I'm not sure the charge is right, but it is working for now. And I hope you guys enjoyed the video. So remember to like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff, and stay safe out there. See you guys.